Alright, so this is going to be long, but I am 33 years old, male, and I guess I just need to get it all out there. I am not really the type to post personal stuff. But after what happened, I have been carrying this around for too long. I might as well say it once and never again. All of this started when I was 27. At that time, I was married to a woman named Ela. We had been together since college. She studied business and always had this boss chick thing going on. Confident, loud, into fancy stuff. Always taking photos of her food like it was some magazine shoot. Me, I was more laid back, a business major. I liked quiet nights, video games, weekend hikes, that kind of thing. We were total opposites, and maybe that should have been the first sign, but I was young, and she was hot and ambitious, and I thought that somehow we balanced each other out. She used to call me her calm in the storm. At the time, I thought it was sweet. Looking back, I think she just liked that I did not challenge her much. We got married 1 year after graduation. Isla planned this over-the-top wedding with fireworks and a 5-tier cake and all these extra details that honestly made me nervous about the bill. She said it would all be worth it because people would talk about our wedding for years. They probably did, just not the way she wanted. After the wedding, we moved into a little place outside Brighton. Small, decent yard, old kitchen. I liked it. She said it was a fixer-upper with potential, but then kept talking about condos downtown like she already wanted out. Things were not bad at first. We did normal married stuff, Netflix, dinner out, dumb inside jokes, arguing about where to put the toaster. She talked a lot about having kids. I remember once we stayed up late just lying in bed picking baby names and laughing about the weird ones. She had this Pinterest board full of baby clothes, nursery ideas, even a file on her laptop called Future Baby Budget. I thought we were both on the same page. We started trying a few months after the wedding. Nothing stressful, just letting things happen. At first, it was kind of exciting. We would talk about what names we liked, whether we would be the strict parents or the cool ones. Isla even made this Pinterest board full of baby clothes, nursery themes, and meal prep tips for new moms. It felt like we were stepping into this next chapter together. It did not happen right away, but that was fine. We figured it was normal. These things take time, she would say with a smile, tapping the fertility application on her phone. I would catch her staring at families in the park sometimes, and she would squeeze my hand a little tighter. I really thought we were in sync. I wanted that life with her, but then something shifted, subtle at first. She stopped tracking anything. She said it was too stressful to keep checking the application. I understood. Pressure kills the vibe. So I did not push. I figured we would just keep trying naturally. One night, maybe 10 months in, I brought it up casually over dinner. Just a normal conversation. Hey, I was thinking maybe we could schedule a checkup next month just to see where we are at, I said, trying to sound relaxed about it. She did not look up from her plate. I do not think I want to keep trying, she said quietly. I blinked. Wait, what do you mean? I do not know if I want a baby anymore, she said, putting her fork down. I have been thinking about it a lot, and I think I rushed into it. We rushed into it. It felt like the air got sucked out of the room. I laughed because I honestly thought she was joking. What? You are serious? I asked. She nodded. Yeah, I am sorry. I know we were excited, but I think I was more caught up in the idea of it. And now that it is real or could be, I do not feel the same. Ela, you were the one who brought it up first. You made a whole board of baby stuff. We were planning names. How do you go from that to this? She looked past me like she could not even make eye contact. I do not know. I just feel different now. Oh, different how? I pressed, probably too hard. I do not have to explain it, she snapped suddenly, eyes flashing. I am allowed to change my mind. After that, things changed. She did not bring up baby stuff anymore. That Pinterest board disappeared. She started spending more time away from home. She said she was going to networking events, happy hours, work dinners. She would get home late, sometimes midnight, still in full makeup. I would ask how it went, and she would just say fine, and go shower. She also started nitpicking me, said I needed to go to the gym, that I was too soft, complained I did not make enough money, said I should be more ambitious like her co-workers' husbands. One time I made dinner and she said, "This is why I do not let you cook. Everything tastes like sadness." I laughed at first, thinking she was joking, but she just scrolled her phone and did not even look up. I do not know when exactly I started suspecting something. Maybe it was the night I saw a message on her phone from a guy named Mason. It popped up while she was in the shower. It said, "I miss your laugh already." I froze. I did not touch the phone, just stared at the screen until it went dark. When she came out, I asked, "Who is Mason?" She looked at me like I just asked if the sky was green. "Why are you looking at my phone?" I said I was not looking. She said he is just a friend. That was her response. And it was weird because she never mentioned him before. I did not push it. I wanted to. God, I should have. But I was already feeling like less than nothing after the fertility stuff. And the idea of her cheating on top of all that, I just did not have the strength to face it. So I pretended like everything was fine. Then one day, she said she was going on a girls' trip to Miami. She said she needed a break, some sun, and space to reset. I asked which friends she was going with. She rattled off a few names I half recognized from her college stories. It did not feel right. Something in my chest just tightened. Still, I helped her pack. I even drove her to the airport. Right before she got out of the car, she leaned over and kissed my cheek and said, "Thanks for always supporting me, even when I do not deserve it." It was a weird thing to say. I almost asked her what she meant, but she was already walking away, pulling her designer luggage behind her. I watched her go through the terminal doors, and that was the last time I saw her for years. I went home that night, sat on the couch, and stared at my phone waiting for a landed safe text that never came. That first night she was gone, I stayed up way too late, just kind of zoning out in front of the television. I did not even realize how late it got until I saw it was like 3:30 in the morning. Still nothing from her. I tried telling myself she was probably just tired, or maybe her phone died on the flight. I did not want to jump to anything. The next morning, I woke up around 9 o'clock. First thing I did was check my phone. Still no message, no missed call, nothing. I went to make some coffee, sat down, and tried to chill. I checked the airline website. Her flight landed the night before, right on time. So now I am thinking, alright, maybe she just got to the hotel and crashed. But how long does it take to shoot a second made it safe text? By noon, I called her twice and sent a couple messages. "Hey, just checking in. Everything good?" No response. I texted one of the girls she said she was going with, just like, "Hey, did Hila land okay?" And she replied, "What trip?" So now my chest is doing that weird tight thing and I feel sick. I said, "Miami trip." She said, "You and her were going together." She goes, "Nope, I have not seen her in 1 year. I thought you guys were going on vacation soon." I did not even reply. I just stared at the screen, like it was lying to me. I messaged the other name she mentioned. I got the same kind of confused replies. Some were polite. One just said, "That's when I knew something was really wrong." Not just she ghosted me for a day wrong, but she faked the whole thing wrong. I opened up our bank application. I do not even know why. Maybe because I felt like I needed some kind of anchor or proof of something. Everything was gone. Savings, zero. Joint checking, overdrafted by $87. Emergency fund, closed. And here is the worst part. I had this personal account that I used for car stuff and random expenses. I had not touched it in months, so I almost forgot it existed. Empty. That one hit me harder than the rest because I realized I must have given her the login years ago and never changed it. That is on me. That is my mistake. But it felt like someone reaching into my chest and pulling out what little trust I had left and setting it on fire. She left me with nothing. Literally nothing. I just sat there staring at my screen while the reality sunk in. My wife did not go on a trip. She faked a whole story, cleaned out our accounts, and vanished. I tried calling her again, of course. Straight to voicemail. I called her sister. No answer. I called her mom. She picked up. "Hey, Nathan." She said everything was fine. I said, "Have you heard from Hila?" She got quiet and goes, "No, why?" She told me she was going on a trip. She is not. She is gone. I think she left me. Her mom said, "Oh my God," and then just started crying. I did not know what to do. I did not even have the energy to cry. I just felt empty. She asked if I wanted to come over. I said no. I needed time to think. And by think, I mean I sat on the floor of my living room for 2 hours just staring at the rug, trying to remember every time she said "I love you," and wondering if she meant any of it. I still did not want to believe it. Even with the bank account cleaned out, even with her friends saying they were not on any trip, I kept thinking maybe there was some explanation. Maybe she got robbed. Maybe she had a breakdown. Something. Anything that was not just her being a monster. But then I started digging. I went on social media, started looking through tagged photos, locations, comments, and I found her. Hila was in New York, not hiding, not scared. She was smiling, dressed up, drinking overpriced coffee on a rooftop bar with some guy. And guess who? That same Mason she got a text from. Why would I even be surprised? I clicked on his profile. Finance guy, private jet photos, expensive watches, gym selfies, the whole stereotype. And there she was in his comments. "Proud of you, babe." A part of me died right there. She did not leave because she was scared or confused. She left because she wanted a new life, and I was just dead weight to her. Everything pretty much fell apart for me. It was not just the betrayal, it was the way she made it so casual, like I was not even worth erasing, like she did not even care enough to make it clean. She just left, took everything she could grab and jumped into some luxury life like our marriage was just a phase she grew out of. Every time I thought I could not feel worse, some new thing would hit me. Like 2 days after finding out she was in New York, I got a letter in the mail from the credit card company. Late notice. Turns out she had not paid the joint card in 3 months. It was in my name. I owed £5,800, and that was not even the only one. Another letter came that same week, the mortgage. She had stopped making her half of the payment months ago, and the only reason it had not defaulted yet was because I had been covering the shortfall without even realizing it. I thought we were just spending more than usual. Turns out I was paying for both of us, while she was buying hotel room service and probably renting convertibles with her new real man. And yeah, I said real man because one of her friends, well, her old friends, I guess they ended up siding with me, told me Hila used to joke behind my back that I was not manly enough. She said she wanted someone who took charge, whatever that means. It felt like death by 1,000 little lies. Every time I thought I had a full picture of what happened, another piece would fall into place and just make everything worse. I found out the trip was not a spur-of-the-moment thing. It had been planned, months in the making. She had applied for a separate credit card I did not even know about and was funneling money into it. She changed her mailing address for certain stuff to her parents' house so I would not see it. She created a second email. She had backup clothes stored at a friend's place. She literally planned an exit strategy like she was escaping a burning building. Only I was the building, I guess. And she was posting pictures on rooftops in New York while I was begging credit card companies not to trash my credit. I kept all the receipts, literally. I had bank statements, texts, emails. Her name was on some of the shared accounts when she moved money out. The credit card she used had location data tied to her spending. I even found a digital receipt for a necklace she bought him 2 days after she left using our joint account. So, I called a lawyer, not one of those billboard guys either. I did my homework and found someone sharp, someone who did not flinch at messy situations. I laid everything out. The bank account she emptied, the credit card she maxed out in my name, the apartment she left behind in my name with overdue bills stacked to the ceiling, the fact that she vanished while we were still legally married. I even showed him screenshots of her posting about starting over with Mason like she had not left a wreck behind. He looked through the folder I had brought in, statements, timelines, emails, and just nodded calm like he had seen worse. But then he looked me in the eye and said, "You have got enough here to go after her for fraud, identification theft, and possibly even abandonment. And the fact that she was not officially divorced from you when she ran off, that might actually be the nail in the coffin. Courts do not like that." That was the first time I felt a flicker of hope in months. We filed the paperwork immediately, a claim to freeze whatever was left in her account, just in case she had not blown through it already. Then the lawyer found something else. She had quietly opened a new bank account under her maiden name. Smart move on her part, except she was not as careful as she thought. A payment to a daycare center had her real name on it, and the transaction tied back to that account. That was our in. We submitted a request to garnish anything she earned going forward, paychecks, tax returns, even any stimulus payments or benefits, if she was still trying to play the system. I told the lawyer I wanted every dollar I could legally take, not out of spite, but because I had earned that money. I was the one paying down the debt. I was the one fixing the damage. She got a clean slate. I got credit score murder. And next, I tackled the identification theft part. I went to the bank. The lady behind the counter gave me the side eye like I was just another bitter ex. But I stayed calm and laid out every charge I had not made, every card she opened, every withdrawal. I filed reports, made calls, filled out more forms than I ever thought possible. Some companies reversed the charges. Others gave me the runaround, told me it was under investigation, whatever that meant. But slowly, little by little, the weight started to lift. A few thousand here, a cleared balance there. Nothing close to a hole, but it was not nothing either. And after being stuck in that hole for so long, even small wins felt like fresh air. I was not about to let her keep coasting while I was still clawing my way out of the wreck she left behind, not after everything. Then one night I got a message from her. No hello, no explanation, just all caps, "What the hell did you do?" For a second I almost laughed. The audacity. Like she had not ghosted me with nothing but a wiped account and a pile of overdue bills. Like she had not just left to chase after a rich dude. Like I was the one who crossed a line. I did not get angry. I did not try to argue. I just replied, "Have fun with Mason." Then I blocked her. And for the first time since she walked out of my life like it was a hotel room checkout, I felt okay. No rage, no heartbreak, just calm. I was not waiting around anymore. I was not hoping she would explain or apologize or show up with some magical fix. I had spent too long feeling powerless, like a victim in someone else's story. But that moment, that was mine. Not because I wanted revenge exactly, but because I needed to remind myself that I was not helpless, that I could stand up, fight back, rebuild, and I was finally doing it. And I went to her parents' house again a couple weeks after she left. Her mom looked like she had not slept in days. She offered me tea, and we sat there in silence for a bit before she said, "I did not know, Nathan. I swear to you, if I had known, I just nodded." I did not blame her. I think she really did not know. Isla always made a point to act like everything was perfect when she was around other people. Her mom was sweet, always treated me like family. I could tell she was embarrassed. I told her she did not need to apologize for what her daughter did. We were both kind of victims in this, in our own way. Her dad never spoke to me directly about it. I saw him once in the hallway when I went over. He gave me this weird half nod like he was either ashamed or did not want to deal with it. Maybe both. For a while, I tried not to talk about it with anyone outside of work. My CO workers just thought I was sick or tired or whatever. I told them I was dealing with some stuff at home. Eventually, I opened up to my friend Eric about it. He's the kind of guy who listens without saying dumb things like, "Everything happens for a reason." So, that helped. And he told me straight up, "She is a piece of work. You dodged a bullet." At the time, it did not feel like I had dodged anything. It felt like I had been run over and left in a ditch. The next year or so was just recovery mode. I worked extra hours to pay off the debt. I took side gigs doing website fixes and information technology consulting. I ate a lot of frozen meals and stopped going out. I just focused on surviving. Slowly, I started to rebuild, paid off the biggest credit card, called the bank and explained the situation. Some of them were surprisingly understanding, others did not care. Either way, I dealt with it. I also did the thing where you try to find joy in small stuff. I went hiking more. I got back into reading, started cooking more. I even refinished my kitchen cabinets myself. I painted them navy blue. A dumb project, but it gave me something to focus on besides the fact that my whole life had flipped upside down. And then 2 years after the whole Isla situation, I met a girl. Let us call her Jasmine. It was kind of random. My buddy Eric dragged me to this volunteer event. Something about local technology workshops for kids. I did not want to go. Honestly, I almost bailed last minute, but I forced myself. I figured I could just show up, fake a smile, and leave after an hour. But Jasmine was one of the other volunteers. She was quiet, sarcastic, had this calm presence that made you feel like the room was not spinning all the time. She asked if I wanted coffee during a break, and we ended up talking for almost the whole event. It was not instant fireworks or anything. No dramatic stares across the room, but it felt easy. And after everything with Hila, easy felt like the most valuable thing in the world. We started seeing each other casually at first. I told her about my past a few months in when it felt right. She did not flinch, just kind of nodded and said, "Well, you are here now. That is what matters." After about 1 year, she moved in. She helped make the house feel like a home again. She got plants, put up some dumb art I would have never bought but ended up loving. She even fixed the wonky door hinge that had driven me crazy for years. I did not ask her to. She just did it one day while I was at work. Life got normal. Like actually normal. We had our little routines. I made breakfast on Sundays. She did movie nights with popcorn. She burned half the time, but insisted was perfect. No drama, no games, just two people figuring it out together. And then one Saturday morning, we were just chilling. I was in the kitchen messing with pancake batter. Jasmine was in her robe scrolling her phone and sipping coffee, and the cat was climbing onto the windowsill to judge us both. There was a knock at the door. Jasmine got up to answer it. I did not even look up. I figured it was a delivery, or maybe the neighbor wanting to borrow the hedge trimmer again. But then I heard Jasmine say, "Can I help you?" The tone of her voice stopped me in my tracks. I walked into the hallway and everything inside me just dropped. It was Isla standing on my doorstep like nothing had happened. Hair a little longer, makeup lighter, wearing this plain jacket, and she was holding a baby. A little boy, maybe 2 years old, chewing on the sleeve of her hoodie like it was a teether. I do not even remember what I said first. I think I just stood there staring like my brain was trying to restart. She smiled like she had not ripped my life to shreds, like this was a normal visit. "Hi," she said. "Can we talk?" Jasmine looked at me, then back at her. Who is this? Isla did not even blink. I am his wife. I swear the room tilted for a second. I stepped between them and said, ex-wife, and no, you cannot come in. She shifted the baby on her hip and said, this is your son. I just stared at her. I felt cold all over. No, I said, he is not. She looked offended. I am serious, Nathan. I had him after I left. He is yours. I laughed. I could not help it. You left me to shack up with some finance bro in New York. You think I do not remember that? She looked down like she suddenly had shame. That did not work out. Mason was not who I thought he was. I did not say anything. She went on. He cheated. He hit me. He left me broke, and when I found out I was pregnant, I thought about you. You were always good to me. That part stung a bit. Not because I missed her. God, no. But because she said it like I was some backup plan she left in the drawer. Jasmine had not said a word this whole time. She was just standing behind me watching. I looked Ela dead in the eye and said, you want to tell me I am the father? Fine, but I want a deoxyribonucleic acid test. And until then, I do not owe you anything. She blinked like I had slapped her. You do not believe me. Why would I? I said. You stole my money, disappeared, and lied to my face. You think I am just going to nod and smile because you show up with a kid and sad eyes? She started to cry. I did not flinch. Eventually, after Isla left, I turned to Jasmine and said, do you think I was too harsh? She looked at me, not immediately answering, just kind of studying my face. Then she said, steady and calm, Nathan. No, you were calm. You did not yell. You did not call her names. You set a boundary. That is not harsh. That is protecting yourself. I nodded like I agreed, but my insides were still a mess. Not because I believed Ela. God, no. I did not believe her for a second. But there is something about someone showing up out of nowhere, holding a baby, looking you dead in the eye, and saying, he is yours. Even when your brain is firing off every red flag, some deeper, quieter part of you starts spinning. What if? What if she is not lying this time? What if I really do have a kid I did not know about? It is not even that I wanted it to be true, but the thought of it being possible messed with me in a way I was not prepared for. Like my life could have shifted without me knowing, and I was just now catching up. We booked the appointment for the next morning. Jasmine found a testing center a few towns over. Neutral ground, no history, no drama. She said she was coming with me, no debate. I told her I could handle it, but she just looked at me and said, you are not doing this alone. Isla had suggested we just use a home test kit, something quick and cheap. I shut that down immediately. I was not trusting anything she could tamper with, not after everything. I wanted the official lab swab, staff witnesses, chain of custody, signatures, everything done by the book. The next morning, we all met in the parking lot of the clinic. I got there first, parked under a tree in the far corner. Jasmine was quiet in the passenger seat, scrolling her phone but not really reading anything. I could tell she was trying to give me space. Ela pulled up a few minutes later in a beat-up silver sedan that looked like it had barely survived a demolition derby. The windshield had a long crack snaking across it, and the rear bumper was basically duct-taped on. In the back seat, the baby was fussing, tiny hands flailing in the air like he had not slept well. Ela looked worn down, too, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled into a messy bun. But her expression was that same fake calm. I remembered the one she used when she was lying through her teeth and trying to sell it like truth. Ah, morning, she said flatly, like we were meeting for a dentist appointment. I did not respond, just nodded and walked to the door. Jasmine stayed beside me, close but not overbearing. Ela followed with the baby in one arm and a diaper bag that looked like it had been through hell in the other. Inside, the air smelled like bleach and printer ink. A nurse behind the counter handed us forms. I brought my identification. Isla handed over the baby's birth certificate. I glanced at it. No father listed, of course. The nurse called my name first, just a simple cheek swab. I sat in the little exam room, sterile and quiet, while she pressed the swab inside my mouth and dropped it into a labeled vial. 30 seconds tops. Then it was the baby's turn. Isla shifted the baby in her arms and handed him over to the nurse. As she did, the kid looked right at me, big brown eyes, a little tuft of dark, messy hair sticking up in the back. He did not cry, just stared at me like he was trying to figure out if I meant anything to him. I stared back, waiting to feel something, a spark, an instinct, anything. But there was nothing. Just a stranger's kid looking at me like I was the stranger in his life. The nurse swabbed his cheek. Isla sat down again, twisting the strap of her purse around her fingers. She kept glancing at me like she wanted to say something, but Jasmine was sitting right there, hand on my knee, calm and solid. I think Ela felt the weight of that. She did not say a word. When it was done, the nurse told us it would take about 1 week. I asked her to email and mail the results. I wanted it printed. I wanted to hold the truth in my hands. The ride home was quiet. Jasmine rested her head back against the seat, eyes closed. I kept one hand on the wheel, the other clenched around my thigh. "You okay?" she asked. When we hit the highway, I took a breath and let it out slow. "Yeah, I think so. I just want it over with. I want to stop thinking about it." The week that followed was the longest week of my life. Every morning I would check my email before I even got out of bed. I would refresh it at lunch, again, after dinner. Not because I doubted the answer. I knew in my gut the kid was not mine. But I needed it in writing. I needed something that could shut the door for good. On the 6th day, it came. An email with the subject deoxyribonucleic acid test results completed. I was standing in the kitchen, half a cup of coffee gone cold in my hand. I opened the email and clicked the portable document format. It loaded slow, the bar crawling like it knew how badly I needed it. I scrolled, eyes locked on the screen. Probability of paternity, 0.00%. I sat down, just sank into the kitchen chair and read it again and again until it burned into my brain, until the buzzing in my chest finally quieted. Then I forwarded the results to Jasmine, and after a long pause, I sent a copy to Ela. No message, no "I told you so," no curse words, no sarcasm, just cold factual truth. She did not reply right away. Hours went by. I did not care anymore, but around 6 hours later a text buzzed through. "I did not think you would actually test." That was it. Not even a half-baked apology. Just a bitter little dig like I had betrayed her by not blindly trusting the same person who once emptied my bank account and vanished. I stared at the message for maybe 5 seconds. Then I blocked her number and I felt clean. Not happy exactly, but clean. Like I had finally shaken off the last bit of mud she had thrown on me. Like this chapter was done and I did not have to carry her shadow anymore. A couple weeks after that, Jasmine sat me down at the kitchen table. Same one I had sat at when I opened the deoxyribonucleic acid results, and said, "I need to tell you something." My chest tightened, just out of habit, but then she smiled real soft and slid a little white stick across the table. 2 lines. I stared at it for a second before it hit me. "You are pregnant, aren't you?" I asked, and she nodded. Tears welled up in her eyes and mine too, honestly. Not fear, not confusion, just this overwhelming sense of peace, of finally being exactly where I was supposed to be. And yeah, that is where I am at right now.